Hi, welcome back, everybody. This is Pop Palace. My name is Jack. I'm your host. And here at Pop Palace, we celebrate the iconic women in pop music history. So, season one has been dedicated to Madonna. This is episode 6 on Madonna, and we have gone from her early beginnings in Bay City, Michigan, all the way up to where we are now in the mid to late 90s. And we're about to go into episode 6. The album is Bedtime Stories. I'm so excited. If you guys didn't already listen to the episodes before, you should go back and listen. This is all going to be in sequential order and in progress of time. So you will get some references more if you go back and listen to the other episode. To truly understand Bedtime Stories, we need to look at where Madonna was in the early 90s. So after her provocative erotica album, which we talked about last episode, the controversial sex book, and her role in the erotica thriller Body of Evidence, Madonna has faced significant backlash. So many fans and critics thought that she had gone too far. I will say, these aren't true fans. Her true fans fully understood what she was doing. And the people that got it, got it. So by calling them fans that didn't understand, I don't think they were truly fans of Madonna prior, because she's never been non-sexual. So most people thought she's gone too far, and they were like, her career seemed at a crossroads. Is it going to end? Is she going to be too sexual for the public? In response, Madonna decided to soften her image. So she's not necessarily trying to win back her audience, because they're still there, but she's trying to win back the general public. So the recording of Bedtime Stories began in February of 1993. It wrapped up in August of 1994. So she worked across various renowned studios, including Axis Studios, The Hit Factory in New York City, Wild Bunch Studios in London. She also collaborated with R&B heavy hits. So she blended pop and R&B, and she worked with people like Babyface, Dallas Austin, and Dave Hall. So she's really aiming for a more R&B and slowed down, softened version of herself. And I will say, even though she's doing this strategically, this isn't out of character for her real self. So Madonna's never going to not be herself in any of her projects or anything that she does, because that's just a core value of who she is. But she will direct her audience back to her. She has all the control still. So it's not her doing this out of just to get her audience back, but she's doing this as a new creation to show the world how she can still transition in different genres and everything, yet still win new audience back. So this album is a significant departure from her early works, and it really showed her versatility as an artist. As we know, Madonna's already reached into various genres. She's done pop, rock, she's brought in a little bit of her soul and everything, and now she's trying a new genre, a new way of singing, a new way of writing music. So originally Im envisioned the album as being stylistically different from erotica. She said, I wanted to make something else, an R&B influenced record, which is in a way going back to my roots, because my very first record wasn't more R&B. So this is Madonna saying it herself. She's not bowing down to the public's will or changing the way she does things just for the public, but she's reinventing herself like she always has in the past. And she's doing it in a way that contrasts from her other side, which is more bold and vulgar. Because she can be both at once and still be the same person. Nothing's ever black and white. So it became one of the very few occasions where she worked with high-profile producers. So Madonna hasn't worked with high-profile producers since she's worked with Nile Rodgers on Like a Virgin. And I think part of this is Madonna saw the futures in the people that she hired before. So she was hiring people that she knew that she liked and knew personally and was giving them a chance. So initial sessions were with Shep Pettibone, who also worked with Madonna on erotica. But she kind of felt that they were doing too similar to that album, and so she dismissed him as a producer. So we know Shep Pettibone, he's worked on with Madonna in the past. If you've been listening to the other episodes, you've probably heard about him some. But he was more stuck in the erotica era, and Madonna was moving forward. So Madonna really loved the song When I Can See You by Babyface. So that's why Madonna chose to work with him. So Madonna also wanted lush ballads, as she says, for the album, and she believed that Babyface and Dallas Austin would be the perfect fit to help her achieve that. So they recorded 3 songs at his studio in his home in Beverly Hills. So these songs included Forbidden Love and Take a Bow, and both of those ended up on the album. So I think that the 3rd song didn't end up on this album, but she may have released it later. I need to go back and check on that. Madonna described Bedtime Stories as a combination of pop, R&B, hip-hop, and a Madonna record. I love that. She says, and a Madonna record at the end. So Madonna is already seeing herself as her own genre, because she can do everything, and she adds her own style to anything that she works on and makes it her own. So with the lyrics that are romantic and very reflective, the album opens with Survival. Y'all, this song is so good. I know I say this about every song I talk about, but when you're listening to this album, after you listen to the episode, start in order. You know, I always say that. You guys start from top to bottom when you're listening to a new record. At least that's what I do. Because sometimes I feel like I'm missing out on the story. Opening with Survival, where Madonna addresses her public controversies and expresses resilience. So songs like Secret and Take a Bow showcase her shift towards a more soulful and introspective style. But Human Nature serves as a direct response to criticism she faced. If you haven't heard this song prior to knowing what it's about, then you would assume that maybe it's about an ex-lover or an ex of some sort in their life that used to think that Madonna was like vulgar and too much. But now that I know that it's about erotica and the public's response to erotica, it makes the song 10 times more like next level. So knowing that the song is about erotica and the public's reaction, it makes the lyrics make so much more sense. So Madonna says, "Express yourself, don't repress yourself." And she repeats this line multiple times at the very beginning of the song. This in itself is an epitome of erotica and her reflection on erotica. She's expressing herself. She doesn't repress herself like the public and the critics want her to. So she starts saying, "It's human nature, and I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. It's human nature." And it's true. Nothing she was doing was too crazy or outlandish. She was just expressing the human connection and sexuality of life on stage. And not in a vulgar way either. It was in a very artful and methodically thought out way. So she goes on and says, "I'm not your bitch, don't hang your shit on me." I see this line as Madonna saying, she's no one's bitch, so don't hang your problems on her. If you've got problems with what she's doing, that's not her problem. That's your problem. So this is so before her time. Because now I think if erotica came out, it would like not bat an eye with the sexuality and everything like that. But back then, they saw it as Madonna's problem and not a problem in themselves, not understanding the art or being too sensitive. And she says, "Did I say something wrong? Oops, I didn't know I couldn't talk about sex." This is literally a direct correlation to the public's responses. "Oops, I didn't know I couldn't speak my mind. And I'm not sorry. What was I thinking? It's human nature. You punished me for telling you my fantasies. I'm breaking all the rules." Like, all of this is such a direct relation to her past album and the fans and critics' reactions. It's just, I don't know. I think it's so fascinating. Looking back at it, you can see how it's a direct correlation to erotica, but maybe if you didn't know the history of Madonna and all that, you wouldn't understand that. And that's why I'm here to share, and that's why I'm here to teach about Madonna, so we know these little intricacies, and it makes the songs even better. Her next song, Take a Bow, is a collaboration with Babyface. This became Madonna's longest running #1 on the Billboard Hot 100s. She stayed on top for 7 weeks. It's a mid-tempo ballad, and it has a slight Japanese touch. So it's featuring swaying strings and lush harmonies. The lyrics break down a failed affair with someone who's way too concerned with personal image. Babyface provide backup vocals and making the song basically a duet. And this also, I think, can reflect back onto her response from erotica. So this is when things get really cool, I think. So Madonna also worked with Icelandic singer Björk. If you don't know Björk, then that's crazy, but that's a whole nother entire season. But Björk helped on the title track Bedtime Story. It initially titled Let's Get Unconscious, and the song was born out of Björk's own criticism of Madonna's aesthetic. This is so crazy. Björk was criticizing Madonna's aesthetic, and then Madonna and Björk decided to work together. And I think that's true artistry. And I think they wouldn't have worked together if they didn't like each other. But they were able to critique each other and then learn about each other in a way that makes it both respectable. The final version, renamed Bedtime Story, is an electronica track with a trippy vibe, a hymn to the joys of unconsciousness and rejection of the supposed constraints of reason and language. So basically, it's got the Björk vibes with Madonna. So whenever you're listening to Bedtime Story, the song, the title track, think about all the other Björk songs you've heard before, and you can kind of get the little taste of Björk throughout the song. So upon release, Bedtime Stories received positive reviews for its mature and introspective approach. It was nominated for Best Pop Album at the 38th Grammy Awards and debuted at number 3 on the US Billboard 200. So this album helped Madonna gain success in the music industry, and now she's starting to have even more agency in her career. Madonna then performed the 22nd Annual American Music Awards, where she sang Take a Bow with Babyface in a live orchestra. So y'all need to look this up as soon as you are done listening to this episode. So search Madonna 22nd Annual American Music Awards, Take a Bow, and it's Babyface in a live orchestra. It was named one of the best in award shows history by the Billboard's Caitlin Kelly. She also performed Secret on a German television show, and then later on she sings Bedtime Story at the Brit Awards. So she showcases her versatility as a live performer and versatility of audiences. She can play 2 different continents and still be winning awards. To wrap it up, we didn't hit everything, but I think we got most of the important parts in. And the album's legacy continues to influence contemporary artists. So this album, just like all the other ones, are pivotal in many current pop artists' music now. So you can see the impact in this album in the work of singers like Rihanna, Banks, and Tinashe. Madonna also worked with the Scottish musician Sophie, who is iconic, the best ever. Look up Sophie. They worked on Bitch I'm Madonna, and Sophie ended up citing Bedtime Stories as an influence, noting its fully formed and sexy sound. So thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Pop Palace. I am beyond grateful to have you guys listening and paying attention. If you guys are listening on Spotify, please give me 5 stars, rate and review. Same thing on Apple Music or wherever you're listening. And then you can follow me on Instagram at pop.palace. And have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.